and Jamin here, back here with another video. So today it is the 30th of May, almost the last day of May. So on this video here today, we're going to talk about the things that we're going to be looking at in markets as in the month of June 2022. So remember guys, to like, share, subscribe, and also press that ring button so that when you post a new video you will get first-hand information. So remember, these videos are strictly for educational purposes. Stocks to Hope or me myself, Sbo Dlamini, will not be liable for any profits or losses that are made from the material that we're going to provide here today. So it's important that you do not trade money you cannot afford to lose. So on the things that we need to check out today, we're going to look at as usual, it's Bitcoin, the US dollar index, and the Nasdaq 100, and then we're going to check out Apple, Johnson & Johnson, and then on the currency side we're going to look at EURUSD, GBPUSD, and then we're going to look at WTI, USOIL, and then on the South African side we're going to look at the USDZAR, and then you're going to look at the J200, the top 40 index, REDIFINE properties, RAUBEX, and also check out TSOGO. So there's really not much happening on the markets this week now in terms of economic data that is coming out now. But the biggest story that has been happening for almost half of the year since it has started, it has been the problem of inflation. So in last week's speech, I think on Thursday, Jerome Powell did signal that yes, the Fed will increase interest rates at a fast pace. So we might expect a rate increase in this month of June and perhaps on their meeting in June. So a rate increase is on the cards now. So if the Fed increases in interest rates, we might also see another increase even here in South Africa as well. So if we're looking at the crypto side, the crypto side of things, we've seen some massive moves there on the cryptocurrencies themselves, and we've seen a huge sell-off there on Bitcoin, and then we have already seen another stable coin that crashed to zero in the past couple of weeks. So that crypto coin, I think it's Luna or something like that, USDT, yes, it was trading at about $89 at the beginning of the year, but now it crashed and went down to 2 cents there in the US. So if we're looking at how the cryptos have performed in the past 7 days, we've seen that Bitcoin in the past 24 hours alone, it is up about 5%, but it is still down a 1/3% there in the past 7 days. And then Ethereum, it's up about 6% in the past 24 hours, but it is down there almost 8% there in the past 7 days. So if we move and then just get straight to the charts now, so a lot of things have been happening. So if we are looking at Bitcoin, we will see that markets, and there on the crypto side, as I was saying, that most cryptos have suffered some huge losses in the past couple of weeks, and also that USDT, Terra, I think it's Terra or Luna or something, or Luna or something like that. So it has also caused problems for most crypto investors, and also it has raised questions against stable coins, then Are they safe, or are they viable investment products, or they are just some other fly-by-night products? So Congress is also going to take those people who are responsible for the crash of that coin. So they're going to need to be testified there in front of Congress in the US. So if we're looking at Bitcoin per se, we are still pretty much bearish here on Bitcoin. The 17,800 level, in my view, it's still on the cards now. So I've been right since November last year when I said Bitcoin is going to fall to around 30,000, and those things they actually did happen. So if we're looking at the US dollar index, TXY, so the US dollar is also pulling back and also giving back its gains that it made the past couple of weeks. So we are seeing that Bitcoin is the US dollar index is pulling back, and on our previous two videos, if you can maybe go back, I think the video that we made at the beginning of May, we did say that the US dollar needs to come back around about the 101 or the $100 levels, so for it to actually continue to move higher, because it broke a level that it was at the corona crisis. When the corona crisis started, the US dollar actually traded higher and then it pulled back. So the market is now trading outside that zone now. So it was the zone was the previous resistance level, but now the zone has flipped to become a straight support level now. So we might see the US dollar actually bouncing from this level to go higher. So if we can move along, look at the bond yield curve. We can check the bond yield curve, which is the US 10-year. So the US 10-year notes, the US 10-year government bonds, if we could just take a look at them. So bonds also were pretty much in a strong uptrend for the past couple of weeks, but now we are also seeing bonds also pulling back from those highs. So maybe the pullback of the bonds can come to this candle that is right here, which is the FTR candle. So if it reaches that FTR candle, we might see the US dollar also gaining some strength, and then bonds will actually move higher. So I think this will be in line when the day the Fed actually raises their interest rates. So sometimes markets, they wait for a certain event before the direction it actually takes. But most of the time when you're doing technical analysis, you see these things perhaps before they happen. So if we are looking at the S&P 500, so we're going to look at the futures charts and not the index itself. We're going to look at the futures charts because it was the weekend, so the index it's still closed. So but the futures charts is also going to give us a direction where the markets will go from today onwards. So we have been seeing that the S&P 500 actually did fall and come to the level that we had spoke about, that markets will come down there. So now the question is is this the bounce going higher, or markets will come to this level, this blue zone that is here, and maybe markets will get rejected and then move lower? So if we go back and zoom in a little bit, that was a weekly chart. If we're looking at the daily charts, we might actually see that perhaps this blue level here, so there's still maybe some fresh sellers that are still there. They maybe can still push the market to go lower. So it will just only also depend on whether the tightening path of the Fed is going to happen. But I'm still, me personally, I'm still not convinced that this market is done going down. Perhaps we might see a move lower again, but only time will tell. So the Nasdaq, so if we look at the big tech index, which is the largest 100 companies, this index is the one that had suffered the most throughout this fall since the beginning of the year. Because if you can see that there was this double top that happened here on the daily chart, the market went lower, and now it went lower and then moved higher to create the right shoulder, the left shoulder of this reverse head and shoulder right here. But now the question is, now is this level here, this blue level here, going to hold? Maybe then the market might get rejected at this level and then continue to go down lower, or the extension might go higher to 13,870. But the 12,800, so the 12,800 in daily level right there, it's still a barrier for markets to actually move higher. So also this will depend on what the Fed is doing when it comes to inflation, and also how the entire US economy is going to recover from this recent mini recession. I could say that this mini recession that has happened in the US. So if we're looking at April, so April, a few months back, or if I could say a few weeks back, Apple was the most valuable company in the world, over 3 trillion in market cap, but it has been trimmed extremely bad. But we might actually see Apple maybe trying to bounce from this level that is right here, in line with what the Nasdaq is doing in this side, because these big companies, they actually control what actually happens there in the Nasdaq. So we might actually see Apple here bouncing and maybe extending, coming back to the $182 mark. So I'm trying to be positive. I'm also trying to be positive when it comes to giving this analysis, and also being cautious that the risk is not taken off the table. The worst is not over as yet. Something might still happen that maybe can accelerate and push the market to go down lower again. So the next one we're going to look at is Johnson & Johnson. So J and J. The story of Johnson & Johnson, it has been quite a nice run for Johnson & Johnson since the corona crisis started. So this was the important level, and then J&J actually moved higher, and now it is bouncing at this bullish flag that is this bullish yes flag that is right here. So now it's trading outside the trend line of the bullish flag, so we might actually see J&J actually moving higher. So the story of EURUSD, now we are going to look at currencies. So euro dollar, it's just the opposite of the dollar index. So whatever happens with the dollar index, it actually happens here with Euro USD. So in my view here, Euro dollar is telling us that maybe the extension can maybe go to a 1.1170 level, né? In the technical perspective, because this is where actually the market started to fall. You can see that there is this order block that is right here. If you look at our previous videos, you will actually check out a video that is called institutional order blocks or institutional order flows. So there is this order block that is right here that's actually pushed euro dollar to go high, to go lower, sorry. So it still might make sense that that level might be still having some sellers that are right there. So we might actually see euro dollar extending, moving higher to that level. So remember guys, these things, especially the dollar pairs, they follow each other. If euro dollar is going in one direction, also the other dollar pairs try to follow suit. Because if we can look at GBP USD, that's why when we do this analysis, the US dollar is always there, so because it drives almost the whole currency market. So the previous video that we posted, we did say that here GBP USD will bounce from these lows and start to move higher. So that analysis was correct and then this was right. So we are seeing that also GBP USD now at this current place that is trading, it might actually extend and go higher to this level, because this was a level where it held for quite some time. Now you can see that it bounced from here, pulled away until this level got knocked off, and then cable went lower. So we might actually see again GBP USD extending higher to that 1.2980 level. So if we're looking at oil again, if we are looking at oil, you'd remember that our previous videos, they tell us the direction whether which side the market might actually go. Because I also, before doing this analysis, I also watched the previous video and look at the previous charts and then do some more research and then come present here. So I don't just open up my laptop and then just talk. So there's also thorough research that I do on the background. Some other things I do not show here on these charts, because Nami, I do have some other paid services so that I can bring you guys the best things here. And also I know what I'm talking about. So when I'm talking here, I'm certainly positive of what I'm talking about. So your WTI is at 115 now. We will see or visit $130 a barrel, because it did touch this level a few weeks ago. So we might actually see 130, even extension going as high as 150 and $175. So if we are looking at the JSE side, so let us start with USDZAR. So the rand, on its own has recovered some of its losses that it had made the past couple of weeks or even months per se, because yes, on our previous video we did say that the extension, the strength of the rand might actually come to 15 rand 30, 15 rand 40 level, and then that actually happened. So because we're seeing that there was this double top that actually happened there, so we might actually see the rand straightening further to maybe to, let me see, yeah, I think the 15 rand 30 will be the decision point whether rand is going to move higher or it's going to go lower. But I'm thinking that dollar weakness is also giving the rand strength, and also the governor Kganyago increasing interest rates by 50 basis points here in South Africa. Yes, so if we are looking at the J200, the top 40 index, we always look at the top 40 because I think it's almost similar, or it's almost fair to look at the top 40 rather than the all share index, because very most of these companies that are in the top 40 are the ones also controlling the all share index, the all Z. They say it's the all Z. So JSA now is at 64,977. We did see that it might come down lower, and then it did exactly that, and then now it did try to bounce and then gave this double candle rejection that is here. So a move higher, it is still possible. So maybe markets are breathing, from the sell-off, as we said earlier on, that if the market is going higher, so a pullback to the downside is also healthy, so that markets can find more buyers, so that they can move higher. Also, if the trend is going down, it is healthy for the market, so that for the markets to pull back higher, so that markets could find some more sellers to push the market down. So after the J200s, let us look at REDIFINE, RDF. So guys, remember to like, share, and please subscribe to our channel, and please share our channel to your colleagues, because we do offer some dope financial content right here. So please help us grow our channel. It will mean a lot to me personally, because the more people we have on the channel, the more for me personally, the more I see that the channel is growing, I can also maybe get excited to do more videos and deliver more content. So REDIFINE Properties, the reason why I chose REDIFINE is because they are going to be announcing their earnings in the month of June. So that's why I chose REDIFINE. You might see REDIFINE moving from that 4 rand level, maybe 5 rand 64, 6 rand 50, even as high as 761. So REDIFINE is a property stock. So property stocks, they are good in an interest rate cycle. So since the world is in an interest rate cycle, you might see these property stocks actually going higher. So let us look at RAUBEX. So RAUBEX, on the other hand, is a construction company. It's one of those large construction companies here in South Africa. So if you're looking at RAUBEX, you know, it's moving higher, but not in a straight line. You see, there are those mini pullbacks or consolidations that we are seeing, but it is moving higher. So they are also announcing their earnings in the month of June. So that's why I also chose RAUBEX as well. So to speak positively about it, this level that is right here, it is a key battleground for RAUBEX. I think it is the 38 rand level. We might actually see RAUBEX maybe extending higher to 46, 45 rand, even as high as 54 rand 92 cents. So the last one is TSOGO. So also TSOGO Gaming, not the hotels group, but TSOGO Gaming, because I think they separated the entities to two. There's now the resorts part, which just also owns those Sun City and those large hotels there in Durban, and also the gaming parts which owns our Gold Reef City and all those game parks here in South Africa, theming game parks here in South Africa. So TSG, TSG did hold on for quite some time here, but we saw a sudden pop last week, so we are still positive that maybe TSG as well will move higher. So guys, that's pretty much about it for today. So I will definitely see you guys on the next video. So remember that these videos are strictly for what educational purposes. They are not trading on investment advice. So guys, ngiyabonga, ngiyaleboga, like, share, comment, criticize, but mostly learn from what we say on this video. So thank you guys. I'll definitely see you on the next video. Thank you and goodbye.